Tonight on SportsDesk, the head of Miami football wins a prestigious conference award. We meet a former athlete who uses his calling to give people hope, and the story of one Hurricanes fan and why he often gets confused for a player. All that and more. SportsDesk starts right now.
This is Andre Johnson. You're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
I'm Ken Dorsey, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hey guys, welcome to SportsDesk. I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez.
And I'm Brianna Nussbaugh. So it's Championship Saturday this weekend, and the Miami Hurricanes have a matchup against the #1 Clemson Tigers.
That's right, Bree. The ACC Championship is on the line for the Canes against a team that blew them out 58-0 the last time they played.
I know, and that's interesting, though, because that devastating loss might have been the one to bring this guy back to Miami. In 2015, Mark Richt came to UM to bring the football program back to the top. In just 2 years, he has made immense strides. On Tuesday, Richt was named the 2017 ACC Coach of the Year. This comes after leading Miami to their first ever Coastal Division title and their first season with at least 10 wins since 2003. Richt received 41 of the possible 59 votes. Clemson's Dabo Swinney was the runner-up with 10. Richt has led his alma mater to a record of 19-5 over the past 2 seasons.
Miami was on the brink of their first undefeated season since 2002. Then, Pittsburgh happened. But that loss doesn't matter right now. The Canes' focus is on tomorrow night's ACC Championship game against Clemson. Our In the Trenches crew gives us their analysis and predicts who will make the college football playoff. Guys?
Welcome to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Alex Manella. He is Josh White, and we're here to break down Hurricanes football. Now, Josh, last week, a tough loss up in Pittsburgh as Pitt upsets Miami. Final score of 24-14. The Hurricanes just didn't show up to play in this one.
Yeah, they didn't. Miami was the #2 team in the nation coming in against an unranked Pittsburgh team that's not even bowl eligible, 4-7 coming into the game. And Pittsburgh just came to play. Kenny Pickett, the true freshman, getting his first collegiate start, was all over the place, had 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground. And that really doomed the Hurricanes' chances. Miami's offense wasn't able to get going on the other side. Malik Rozier, probably the worst game he's ever played in college at the quarterback position for the Hurricanes. When it came down to it, Rozier just 187 yards passing the ball, a QBR under 30. That's just absurd, and that really doomed Miami's chances. And the defense was on the field for so long. They surrendered some points late in that game, only able to break up the turnover chain twice, both coming in the first half. So Pittsburgh able to pull up the upset and kind of shake up the college football playoff world, if you will.
Now, there is a major shakeup in the college football playoff rankings, as you'll see here. Clemson moves up to #1 as Bama loses to Auburn. Auburn shifts in at #2. Bama out of the top 4. Oklahoma stays at 3, and then Wisconsin jumps in as the only undefeated team in at #4. Now, in this one, Miami does fall. They go down to #7, and they're now sitting at 10-1. In the ACC championship game, either team is going to be win or get in. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday?
Yeah, it's win or get in the ACC championship game in Charlotte on Saturday. And when it comes down to it, you got the #1 team in the country against #7, the best ACC championship game they've had since the game was installed. And it comes down to it, it's the battle of the defenses. The game's going to be won in the trenches. Clemson, with a defensive line of 3 of those 4 guys, going to be drafted in the first round come the NFL draft. For the Hurricanes, they lead the nation in almost every defensive category. They're first in sacks per game, second in tackles for loss. They lead the nation in turnover margin, so Miami's got to try and stop Clemson all they can. The Clemson offense is so good. Kelly Bryant, so good, a dual-threat quarterback. He's so versatile on the ground. He creates so many problems with his legs. He scored 10 touchdowns on the ground, 12 throwing the ball. Travis Etienne, the tailback for the Tigers, has 12 touchdowns this season on the ground as well. So Miami's defense really needs to show up. The offense on the other side, they suffered a couple losses this week. Christopher Herndon, who got hurt in that Pittsburgh game, he had surgery. He's out for the season. Amon Richards, their lead wide receiver from a year ago, he's now out with a non-contact leg injury, suffered in practice. So Miami's going to try and look for those unsung heroes. They're going to need to throw the ball to Darrell Langham. They're going to need to find Braxton Berrios. They're going to need those guys to step up. I think Berrios is a huge game for the Hurricanes. When it comes down to it, he's had 2 big games in the state of North Carolina already. where he's from. 9 catches, 130 yards, and 2 TDs. I think Clemson stays comfortable and wins 24-20. Bears really the only chance Miami pulls off the upset.
Now, this is what you see happening at the end of Championship Saturday here. You're going to see that the only change, Bama in at 4.
Yeah, I think Clemson wins the ACC championship like I was talking about. Auburn wins the SEC championship. Oklahoma holds serve in the Big 12. Alabama sneaks in at number 4. I think Wisconsin loses the Big 10 championship to Ohio State. So I think that's how the 4 is going to shake up come Sunday.
Well, that's all the time that we have. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Football players are known for their elite athletic abilities, but some of them can be pretty artistic. TV reporter David Perez talked to one that uses his passion to inspire others.
The pigskin and the canvas aren't really two things that always go together. But for a former University of Miami football receiver, that combination has been life-changing. With a spray can and a paintbrush, Damari Jones has found his passion in Miami.
You know, it makes you feel good inside that you're doing something positive, you know, and that you're inspiring others.
But while Jones is looking to leave his mark on Miami, the inspiration for his art and life comes from his hometown.
Well, where I come from is a low-income place in Leesburg, Florida. It's like west of Orlando. Leesburg is a very small town. You know, on the bad side of that, with not having opportunities, you know, that create people to do drugs and, you know, fight and shoot and things like that. So
the culture of the community is that everyone looks kind of towards football or sports as a way out of the community.
And Jones took that escape route on the field, going from a Little League star to a student athlete on a full scholarship at the University of Miami.
My journey there, like just going to college is a big deal there. So I just wanted to make sure that I was able to give the people back at home hope and show people an example that, you know, you can make it from a small town.
And while taking art classes at Jones went from doodling to something more.
I had met with my professor Jerry, and he said he's seen something in my stroke that I should hold on to the brush a little bit longer.
And Damari would just come in and show me his pictures, and it's not just on his small pictures, he was making these huge pictures. He just took it farther, and he took this into his house. He made it his.
By the time Damari finished his 4th year on the football field, he realized it was time to make a decision.
I was like, man, I don't know how much my body's going to continue on taking this pounding. Like, maybe this is the end of the road.
You have these NFL dreams, these NFL aspirations, you know, so, and that's what's ingrained in your head. So it's like when it don't happen, a lot of guys, they fold, they go in the tank because like that's all they know.
I wasn't confident in the art world. Like, I don't have anybody to look up to. Like, where I'm from, you know, you don't find anybody like that. So I'm doing these exhibits and I'm meeting these people and they're telling me these things, different people, different races, shapes and sizes. They're telling me, yo, you need to stick to this.
And I'm like, Damari, you've been hiding this all along and should probably like start to explore this more.
And with his football career now behind him, Jones is all in on his artistic life.
Just working for like the hospital, just doing things like just charity events, going back home, painting murals. The crazy part is I'm just getting started. Like this right now is like, this is game planning for me.
Jones has his eyes set on the future, but it is his past and dedication to his hometown that drives him.
Seeing him as someone who actually came from that community, kids would gravitate towards that and listen to what he's saying.
You know, you can be swallowed up in here. You know, there's a lot going on, you know, the Vice City, everything like that. So I want to make sure I set good examples for people back at home and make sure like, hey, I didn't just drop off, you know, because football didn't happen for me. And I wanted you guys to know, girls or guys, that, you know, there's hope.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm David Perez.
So right now, Volleyball is playing Florida, the second round of the NCAA tournament. Game just started out in the first set right now. Miami's actually down 9-5 against Florida, but coming up, we'll tell you exactly how they got into the tournament. Don't go away.
I'm Reese Davis from ESPN, and you're watching SportsDesk. It's hard to do that holding the microphone.
fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles. What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Hurricanes senior wide receiver Braxton Berrios was named winner of the 2017 Jim Tatum Award as the ACC's top student athlete this past Thursday. The Tatum Award is given annually in memory of the late Jim Tatum to the top senior student athlete among the league's football players. Tatum, a 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, coached in the 1950s at Maryland and North Carolina. The Hurricanes' leading receiver is on his way to graduate in December as a double major in finance and entrepreneurship with a 3.96 GPA. He is a 2-time Academic All-District and Academic All-ACC selection. Berrios currently leads the Hurricanes in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown catches. He'll be recognized this weekend during activities surrounding Saturday's ACC Championship game in Charlotte. Berrios is the first Miami recipient of this award.
UM fans are not shy about sporting their Canes apparel year-round. Whether they're wearing shirts, shorts, shoes, or ball caps, you will see it all at Hard Rock Stadium on Saturdays. But one diehard fan goes the extra mile with his game day outfit. UMTV reporter Jihad Chatara is live from the control room with the story. Jihad?
That's right, Isaiah, and if you've been to Hard Rock Stadium lately, you'll have seen this fan at tailgates, on the Jumbotron, interacting with his fellow Canes fans. Only catch is he's dressed head to toe as a player. No, he didn't get left off the team bus, but he is still a Miami Hurricane. Shoulder pads. Something the average fan doesn't wear to a football game. But this Hurricane diehard is anything but normal.
It was definitely a shock to some people, but then it became like a surprise and more of a welcoming feeling now.
Shelton Douthet has been collecting old Miami Hurricanes uniforms for about 8 years now. At every home game, he is doing what he loves.
You know, the Miami crowd is different. It's a diverse fan base. It's a very passionate fan base, and they clearly wear their emotions on their sleeves, or they dress as their emotions.
Douthet's passion for the Canes started early in his life because of his best friends.
Me and my brother, his name is Wayne Douthet, big UM fans ever since we were young. You know, we got jerseys and everything. Everything was just Hurricanes, Hurricanes.
Back in 2009, they decided to take a trip to Tallahassee to watch the Canes play rival Florida State. But on the way home, Wayne developed a cough. He didn't think much of it.
My brother, the way that he is, he just struggling like, no, I'm fine, I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Wayne had pneumonia, and he was admitted to the hospital. That's when Shelton made a promise.
He was joking around and everything, and he asked when I would wear all this Miami gear that we collected. And as a joke, I was like, okay, as soon as you get out of the hospital, I'll wear it to one game for you.
Wayne was released a week later, but the condition came back and he was readmitted to the hospital. Shelton was preparing for an away game in Orlando, but he felt that it wasn't right to go without Wayne.
But as I was preparing to go, I couldn't really concentrate or focus because I was something in the pit of my stomach saying something was wrong.
That's when the Douthet family received a phone call from Jackson Memorial Hospital. It was the phone call no one ever wants to get. Wayne passed away October 17th, 2009, at the age of 23.
At that time, I really shut down. Like, I did not know what to do. I felt like I lost everything. I felt like I had nothing no more. My heart was broken, everything.
Douthet visits his brother before almost every away game.
Still miss him. Sometimes I still get a little sad, but my brother is still with me.
Shelton is going to Charlotte with his brother in his heart, looking to bring home a win for Wayne Douthet. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Miami's volleyball team dominated the College of Charleston 3-1 yesterday to advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament. This was the 5th tournament win in program history. The Hurricanes combined for a .519 hitting efficiency in the victory. ACC Player of the Year Olga Stronsely led the attack with 14 kills. All-ACC first-team setter Haley Templeton had a match-high 47 assists. Miami finished with a record of 21-5 on the regular season, which ranked 3rd in the ACC. This helped earn a bid into the big tournament.
Men's basketball team pulls off their first-ranked win against number 12 Minnesota, and the standout freshman from the women's team is still rolling. Up next, our analyst at Hurricane Hangtime gives us the details on the patterns they're seeing this season. Don't go away. And buckle your seatbelts, it's time for some Hurricanes trivia. Let's get back to football. Hurricanes are set to play number 1 Clemson with a chance to win their first ACC title in program history. With that being said, when was the last time Mark Richt coached in a conference championship game? Is it A, 2014, B, 2012, C, 2009, or D, 2010? The answer when we come back.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
So what are you doing?
Are you guys going to any of the championship games this weekend?
I think she's flying up.
Yeah, I'm flying up tonight with some family.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'll be watching the game on TV.
Yeah.
So if you guessed B, 2012, you're correct. This was back when Rick coached the Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC championship game against who other than Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama went on to win the game 32-28. Running back Eddie Lacy won MVP after rushing for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. men's basketball is off to a hot start this season, winning their first 6 games. Meanwhile, the young women's team has gone through some struggles as of late, losing 2 of their last 5. Hurricane Hangtime is here to break down what they've seen so far. Guys?
This is Hurricane Hangtime. I'm your host, Julia Haynes, here with analysts Tommy Sullivan and Max Trink. Max, start us off with the women's season. It's been a little bit of a rocky start.
Not the best start for the women's team, already having 2 losses, but really Miami needs to focus on its youth. It's really gaining a lot of perspective, a lot of playing experience is going to be important for this young team. Really, when it comes down to it, the best player so far has been Micaiah Gray, already getting 2 ACC Rookie of the Week awards, which has been an incredible feat for her. And she's been great both offensively, defensively as well. And she's really learning how to command the court. When it comes to seniority, it's really Erica Davenport. She has already been one of the best players in the past. She's really teaching this young team how to play the game, excel in it. And really what it comes down to is her rebounding ability. She already had a 19-rebound game, which is incredible. And when it comes to other freshmen, Endia Banks has been really a key for them. She's learning a lot from the point guard position. She's naturally a shooting guard. She's learning how to play more point guard, so she's learning how to command the court, and hopefully this will progress into Sunday's game against St. John's.
Right, and on the men's side, though, they've really come out of the gate strong.
Yeah, that's right. The Canes have looked really, really good this year. Undefeated start. Earlier this week, they took on the 12th-ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. The Canes came out hot. DeJuan Huell looked really, really good for them. He's really progressed this season. Season high in points for him in that game. But this was really a back and forth game in the first half. You can see Amir Coffey had a crazy shot, went up for a layup, got his own miss from his back, laying down on the court, got the ball to go in. Really, really great play by him. But the Canes came out after a tie in the first half and played really, really well in the second half. The defense was just extremely athletic for them, and they couldn't be stopped. Bruce Brown on the offensive side, really, really good for them. So it was a really great win for them. They won 86-81. This week, however, the Canes will take on Princeton Tigers. Princeton is a team that you can't really sleep on. They have a good history as a team, so we'll see how the Canes look.
All right, thanks guys. Always great insight. Bree and Isaiah, back to you.
The top 10 ranked men's basketball team is heading downtown this weekend. They are set to play Princeton in the Hoop Hall Miami Invitational at the American Airlines Arena on Saturday night. Miami and Princeton have played 3 times in the past, the last time being in 1948. The Hurricanes hold a 2-1 lead in the series. The AAA will also be hosting an ACC Championship game watch party at the Xfinity East Plaza. This event is free to current students with a valid Cane card.
Micaiah Gray isn't the only freshman making an impact on the basketball court. India Banks is averaging 8 points per game and has showed the potential to score in bunches. But like many athletes, she has a hidden talent. UMTV reporter Chelsea Lavelle sat down with the 5'9" guard from Georgia.
Welcome back to Athlete of the Week. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle, here with women's basketball player India Banks. How are you today?
I'm good.
You guys are a couple games into the season. How do you feel that it's going so far?
I feel like it's going well, considering us to be a young team. I feel like we have a lot of potential.
And like you said, you're a freshman along with a number of other girls on the team. How have you guys meshed well working together?
Well, we become great friends, and we just try to push each other in and out through day and night.
Are you looking forward to the holidays?
Yes, get to go home.
You get to go home. You're from Georgia, right?
Yes.
So not too far away. What's your favorite part about the holidays?
Just getting to be home with my mom and my sisters, and just to be around them makes me feel good.
How old are your sisters?
My sisters are 16 and 8.
Wow. Do they play basketball as well?
No, they don't. They feel like they have to be like me, so they try to play something else.
And I know that you learned how to play piano. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into that?
I grew up in like a small church community, so like my grandma took us to church all the time, so like it's just something I kind of picked up just from being there.
Absolutely. I also know that your favorite player is LeBron James, right?
Yes.
So he's recently opened up a school, and he's talked about how that is his biggest achievement over sports. So what is your biggest achievement that you have accomplished or would like to accomplish?
I would like to accomplish things like just to help the community out, because I feel like I could help out a lot of people just by the things that I do.
Is there anything that you do now that you think is contributing to that goal?
One thing is I just put on like a good thing, like an example for my sisters, to show them that everybody should go to college and do well and like make good grades and things.
Amazing. So if you had to plan out the perfect day, what would it be?
The perfect day. I'll wake up, eat a big breakfast, maybe go to the beach, chill at the beach all day, then come back and just listen to music all night long. I'm just a chill type of person.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Still to come, can you imagine a lifetime without your favorite NFL team? Well, for one Packers super fan, she hasn't had to. After the break, we'll take a look inside her 98-year-long loyalty to Green Bay.
So let's check out a play of the day right here. It showed a string of pinpoint passing for the goal. Let's check out the Premier League matchup between Leicester City and Tottenham, where forward Jamie Vardy made a play for fans to remember. Check it out right here. Mark Albertson finds the nice cross over to Jamie Vardy, who kicks it right over the goalie and in for Leicester City. Watch this. In soccer, when there's not a lot of dribbling happening and just pure passing, that's when you know they're doing it right. They would score there. That would be the first goal for Leicester City, and they'd go on to win 2-1.
The Baseball Hall of Fame will elect its newest class next month, and there may be some surprising names voted in. Simon Lair tells us who shouldn't make it on this week's Simon Says.
Last week, MLB Hall of Famer Joe Morgan sent out a mass email to baseball writers across America addressing one of the most pressing issues in the sport today: who should be allowed in the Hall of Fame. This two-page letter was sent specifically to those who have a vote on the ballot, and the motive can be summed up in a single statement about halfway through its first page. We hope the day never comes when known steroid users are voted into the Hall of Fame. Steroid users don't belong here. Morgan's thoughts on the topic didn't surprise me, but his method in conveying those thoughts certainly did. Here is a board member of the Hall writing from the Baseball Hall of Fame's official email address, effectively stating to voters that the Hall will not truly accept certain players if they are voted in. No, Morgan didn't drop any names, but his message serves as a warning about two people in particular, both of whom could get inducted as early as next year and would completely change the reputation of the institution. Nobody dominated the sport more than Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. A 7-time MVP and 7-time Cy Young Award winner, respectively, both players are in their 6th year of Hall of Fame eligibility, still on the outside looking in. Bonds and Clemens each received 54% of the vote last year, still 20% shy of the 75 needed to get elected, yet up 10% from the year before. This means that last year, for the first time, a majority of Hall of Fame voters cast Bonds and Clemens' names on their ballots. These results stun me. If a voter left Clemens and Bonds off their ballot last year, what could possibly make them change their minds now? The career statistics remain the same and the steroid affiliation will never go away. Well, a large number of voters feel that some steroid users have already slipped through the cracks and that tainting it further wouldn't be a problem. Oakland Press columnist Pat Caputo was one of these voters, explaining that he switched his opinion after the induction of suspected steroid user Mike Piazza last year. Caputo also added the following, quote, "To me, Hall of Fame induction is first and foremost an award for baseball achievement, not a good guy honor," end quote. Herein lies the real discrepancy between the two sides. No, good guy is not one of the qualifications of a Hall of Famer. But playing the game the way it's meant to be played should be one of the most important standards by which we judge someone's legacy. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens did not play the game the right way. If they are elected one day, they clearly won't be welcomed and certainly won't be respected. Let's keep the Hall of Fame a sacred place. That's what Simon says.
It's hard to believe that our beloved NFL teams have only been around for nearly 100 years, but for one fan, it's been a lifetime. Take a look at this decked-out Packers superfan. Ida Motif is 98 years old and has been alive as long as the Packers franchise. Not to mention, she's been a season ticket holder for nearly 70 years. Her love for football started right at home.
All my life I had liked football. My brother played football, and that's where I really got it. And I just, of all the sports, I really like football the best.
As for her favorite player, you guessed it, Brett Favre is at the top of her list. Motif and her late husband were even able to visit Favre's hometown of Kiln, Mississippi, following Super Bowl 31. Safe to say this fan hasn't yet given up on her team. That's a long time to be a fan.
Honestly, I see myself doing that in the future. I might have a cane on me, but I see myself sitting in those stands.
If you're in a can, or if you have a cane, I'll be in a wheelchair. Will you push me in? Will you help me around?
I'll roll you in that wheelchair. We'll sit in those stands together.
You want to watch the game together?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, that's actually all we have this week for Sports Desk, but we'll look to see you right here next week.
Good night, everyone.